Hello everyone, nubkeks here, welcome back to Nub Raids, and in today's video we've got a bit of news for CvC. So first up, CvC is tomorrow. It's not personal rewards, so it's a nice chill one. I will be streaming obviously for CvC as I always do for 2 to 3 hours or so depending, around about when the tournament kicks off in game. So come hang out. For the German viewers it will be supergeil. And for my Irish viewers, I'm from Ireland, for my Irish viewers, so come on down, be great fucking crack, right? We'll hang out, we'll have a good time. Yeah. So yeah, there we go. So what are we going to be doing? Probably just like grinding Minotaur. I've got a whole video on building Mavara. I think the Mavara build video actually be out already, but I'll start working on building her. And yeah, I guess we'll see if any Mavara soul events will kick off by then. I'm guessing they might kick off after CvC, but I guess we'll find out. Now, we also do have summon events coming in here. So let's take a look. Obviously, the first... Oh, too big. The first is tomorrow, Tuesday, the 21st of April. And then... Oh, excuse me. When we've got... What's the fucking buttons for this thing, eh? What the shit is even going on? Ah! I just wanna move my thing. Why is it? Well, oh my god, I hate paint. I don't even know how to use the snipping tool. How do I fucking... You won't let me scroll. Bruh. What's going on? Wait, is it my keyboard being weird? I don't know. What the hell? Hang on. We're back. I don't know what's going on there. I don't know. There, we're back. It can move. Crisis is averted. Panic is over. I should edit that out, but I won't because it's funny. Right, obviously we have a 15x on Tuesday the 21st, and then there's going to be another one on Wednesday the 22nd. So the Wednesday one is Lizards, and the Tuesday one is Demonspawn. All right, so let's look at these. So the big headliners, Vulkanos and Teox. We've got two faction unity champions in there. Pretty big. Vulkanos, obviously, in the past, was absolutely just broken, right? He's just broken with his passive. This is why he's so strong as a faction unity. I think the faction unity champions who are often the best in the most content are champions like Vulkanos, Fina, and Teox, who can be extremely effective even without many or any perhaps faction allies. That is often where they are at their best. And then most of the faction unity champions are quite strong if you do have a full faction team, but that can be quite limited to places like Siege. Yeah, or Faction War is hard, right? They're a bit more limited. Vulkanos is extremely strong with just one faction ally in Arena, and that's what makes him so dangerous, is because you've got lots of really good Demonspawn to pair with him. But has Mercurial hurt him too much? Let's take a look. Whenever an enemy receives a buff or has their turn meter increased, is a 50%. That goes up to a 75% chance, and with masteries you can make it... Sorry, 70% chance. With masteries, 75% to place a burn. If they don't have burn, you've got the same chance to activate it instantly instead. Whenever they have their receive a buff or have their turn meter increased, I really think... We've seen this with Marius, but more so with Solinar. Sabrael does the same thing. Vulk... I personally think I think it's not great for the game. Any turn meter increase, like this could be supersonic sets, masteries that trigger, whatever. Like tiny little things. You could get a 1% turn meter boost, and Vulkanos is blasting your team. I don't know. Yeah, I need to edit up my Sabrael testing video. Obviously, you guys have seen Solinar. I think that these things are not great for the game's health. It's ridiculously strong, and like any enemy team that is doing multiple buffs, or again, if they've got a supersonic set or masteries that boost turn meter, or God forbid, any champions that actively boost turn meter, perhaps on multiple skills or passives, he's spamming burns and exploding them. You give him the Incinerate blessing, so it's doing bonus damage, and that he is very blessing reliant. It's the same thing with any poisoners, any HP burners in PvP. Incredibly blessing reliant. If you don't have a good soul, they're not going to be as effective. More important with poisons, but pretty impactful for burns. You can use the Skull of Treason Relic on him, and there you are. With the one faction ally, the skill can't be resisted or blocked, so it's like you can't stop him. How do you stop him? You could polymorph him. Polymorph blessing, very strong against him. Block damage will stop it unless they've got a champion to stop it. So like Marishka passive can protect you, but it's really difficult to deal with Vulkanos. He's kind of a nightmare. Total Guard, however, does stop the burns applying. So yeah, this is the problem. 9-piece Mercurial, even any Mercurial, if Total Guard is active, you can't place any debuffs, so he won't do anything. So you can buff and turn meter boost your heart's content, as long as your team has Total Guard. So I think Vulkanos is in a bit of an awkward spot where it's going to be difficult to run and to use, right? I mean, he's still valuable for sure, but if an enemy is running lots of Mercurial gear, which is going to be, it's already super common, and it's only going to become more common, it seems, at the moment, he is weak against that. If they're in Stone Skin, Burn does bonus damage to Stone Skin, and you can place Burn on Stone Skin. And, you know, as maybe we see more ally attack champs and multi-hit champs become more popular, perhaps we will see people move away from Mercurial and perhaps to some other sets, and he'd be good against those. I think he's so ridiculous, it's certainly worth it. Now, he's also a very good PvE champ, to be fair. In particular, the 2 faction allies. Whenever a HP burn debuff activates on an enemy, he gains 5% ignore defense up to 100%. He gets up to 100% ignore defense, which is crazy. So strong. He's going to be hitting like a truck with that. Also, this move hits really hard as well. Yeah, he's doing good damage. He could do really good damage as well if you build him for that, though typically it's the 1 faction ally thing, and the passive are so strong, people would be just building him for that. You can also put block revive on enemies killed under burn. Happens even while he's dead. They can die from anything. So if you got a full Demonspawn team, he's just block reviving everybody that dies with burn, which is insane. One slight minor problem, he's ridiculous at applying burn in PvP because people are getting buffs and turn meter all the time. But in PvE, like if you're fighting the Hydra, for example, couple of things give them buffs, couple of things give them turn meter, but not that much. You'd need to bring in somebody else. Maybe a Sissia would do very well. Sissia Flame Tongue in the same faction, great, job done. She's coming in with burns, decrease defense and weaken. Lovely setup for him. And then he can start stacking up the burns and doing more damage. Because yeah, he's just not going to do much damage if, you know, you don't have any other source of burn in the team for PvE content probably. But he's obviously very, very good. Is he still worth it with Mercurial? I think, yeah. I think compared to regular legendaries from regular shards, I think fantastically good. And if you've got a way to remove the Total Guard, whatever, he could be very strong. Typically, he would have been in like Stone Skin, 4-piece or 6-piece Stone Skin. You could give him 4-piece Pinpoint for a bit of protection, Wand of Submission, a bit of protection from Polymorph. I mean, they have buff deflection set. It's an interesting, in fact, I'll show you because you can see I'm trying deflection on my Nell. You start with block debuffs and you can deflect debuffs onto the attacker. It's cool. It's got good stats. But you do bonus damage equal to accuracy to enemies that block debuffs from the wearer, and it can remove Total Guard. So it's possible you could do, and I think it could be ridiculously good, Vulkanos in 6-piece deflection with reaction accessories to keep him alive, and he just stays alive with reaction accessories. He just needs to not have block passive skills and not be dead. And he's going to be pumping out burns on enemies, deflecting some debuffs back, and possibly ripping off the Total Guard. I don't have Vulkanos. I can't test it. In short, I think he's still stupidly good. So he's very high priority. Teox, I think, is also very strong. So he has a big AoE attack with increased attack and crit damage, extra hit on enemies under any debuffs. This hits very hard by default. With 3 faction allies, he can do up to 100% bonus damage, 20% per debuff on each enemy. So he can hit twice as hard. He can block revive, he ignores some buffs. This is a massive AoE nuke. He's got a good single target nuke here. Extra attack if he kills an enemy. Now, it does permanently as well give him up to 50% more attack, and he can decrease defense on the target, or sorry, he ignores defense for debuffs on the target. Funny enough, how you often use him, his A1 is so crazy. Often, you want to use his A2 twice, manually, to get the 50% bonus attack, and then you don't use it again. You just use his A1 because it's an ally attack. He brings in the highest crit damage ally. So this is how you usually see Teox being used. Not necessarily for his own damage, though you can do that, particularly in PvP. But in PvE, Teox with another top quality damage dealer because he gives himself, and more importantly, the ally, 10% more damage for each debuff on the target. He can do that every single turn. So an ally with a very strong A1, someone like a ninja, for example, you're going to be slamming in huge damage. Double Teox teams are a thing as well. He's got a really powerful faction ally boost as well, which is cool. Teox is pretty cool. Yeah, like he's come back for sure in the Demon Coalition event. Let's see. I mean, I'm certain he is in some of these teams here. Here we go. Double Teox. So you got one Teox probably just mostly spamming A1s to get this Teox doing all these extra attacks and huge damage. And most of the top players in there are going to be using it. So very strong for lots of different content. Which would I prefer, Teox or Vulkanos? They're two of the best. Two of the best. I'd say Teox a bit better for PvE, Vulkanos a bit better for PvP. So it depends on what's more valuable for you. For me personally, I'd be putting Vulkanos #1 and Teox #2. But we'll see. After that, it's a hard sell to go for any of the other champions from Ancient, Sacred, or Primal shards, if you were pulling any. And by the way, I should also say, for me, I'm not pulling any shards for this event. I'm #1, not close to Mercy, but #2, I want to save shards for Mavara, right? Because I do think I'll use Mavara in PvP, and if I do, I really want the 5-star soul for the extra resistance. If you're not planning to use her in PvP or you're not sure, then the soul's not quite as important, but for me, it kind of is. Duchess, still a very good reviver, so she's good. Preva, I'd probably prefer Duchess over Preva. I think Preva is excellent. More PvE focused reviver. She's got the healing with increased defense, increased speed. Pretty cool. She can do the transfer debuffs, turn meter boost everyone, transfer the debuffs to the enemies. Pretty cool. Single target revive with the reset and skills. She's solid. But there's a lot of revivers for PvE. Yeah, so she's very, very good. I don't feel like I need her. Duchess is a bit more unique with the revive and the perfect fails. Grakos is decent. So actually, I was pretty negative about Grakos in a previous video, and I got a message from someone and I thought it was pretty cool saying, hey, I actually use Grakos as a budget Theodosia for PvE content because he's got decreased defense, block damage, and a damage boost. So they use him like a budget. So Theodosia is obviously ridiculous for PvE content. Obviously, she's insane just in general. But for PvE content, her alternate form, giving you up to 25% damage boost based off enemy's turn meter. And she's obviously doing block buffs, decrease defense, which can be protected, and she can destroy target speed as well. She's a monster for PvE in this form with the speed aura, and you can obviously flip her back, and she's an incredible reviver if you need that. Grakos like a budget version of that, so that's kind of cool. And with her, she's an okay reviver, not reviver, a good healer, debuff remover from the faction. They're all decent. I'd personally be going for this day, I put Duchess 1. I probably, to be honest, put Preva 2, and then I put probably, I think Withier is a bit more useful, but they're all good. I probably put them somewhat like this. I think Withier is kind of nice for the faction. I do feel like the faction is lacking in survivability for Faction Wars Hard. So yeah, I think that's where Duchess and Preva are the most useful. I think Withier gives you like debuff removal and healing, which is nice because they are quite lacking in like block debuffs and stuff if you don't have Duchess or Preva. I had found it difficult to stay alive. I was relying on Withier. I got Karosa. I'm using a support sort of Karosa in Faction Wars to try get through. You've got Dur the Hungerer. He's okay, but yeah, you're a bit vulnerable to debuffs and being killed and stuff like that. So that would be my leaning. I think Grakos is nice as well, so he could be worth considering, but that would be probably my order there. Now, the other day, we've got Kosk, Karen, Nekmo, and Python. Really nice selection here. Probably better overall, to be honest. So Kosk is looking like a very, very strong damage dealer for this faction. Cool. I mean, he hits really hard. I saw Tyraku had a showcase. I never got around to testing him myself. He's an AoE attack, which activates poisons. His A2 is the poison placement. It will put poison sensitivity to poisons, then spread poisons and poison sensitivity to all enemies, which is great. And he self-buffs to increase accuracy. So spread poisons, then you got big AoE that activates them. His A1 can increase debuffs or activate poisons. His passive is lovely. He does up to 50% more damage and up to 30% more ignore defense for each debuff on the enemy team, which is amazing. And then if he gets attacked by an enemy under a debuff placed by him, he counterattacks, which is potentially increasing the debuffs or activating them. Like, he's very, very powerful for PvE content. I watched the Tyraku video. One problem with him, I think it's just a problem with Chimera in general, something to be aware of. you have a poison trial. You have to do like damage to Chimera with poisons and poison sensitivity. And like he's Kosk, you'd be like, he's perfect. It's not good enough. He doesn't place enough poisons. The trial is just obnoxious though. I wouldn't be shocked if they nerf that trial at some point in the future. Koski seems like he should do it. He doesn't do it that well, but he hits so hard that he can do all the direct damage trials. So for example, if you run someone like a Narma, Narma can do the poison trial, but she's not going to be doing the deal whatever 700k damage with a direct hit. That's really hard to do, but Kosk can do the direct damage. So yeah, he's pretty interesting, actually. I think he's cool. He could do good damage in PvP as well. But he's very squishy. He's not top tier for sure, but he's a strong damage dealer, so I think I'm pretty intrigued by him. I'm not sure how I'd rate him because I didn't get to test him myself, but he's the one to watch. Karen would be my least favorite here. I'd put him just a straight fourth. Sorry, Karen. And I don't even know if I go for him at all. Yeah, I mean, look, he's got AoE with sleep, ignores block debuffs, but it's not going to ignore total guard. It's not going to ignore stone skin. Awkward. He can put skills on cooldown, and which is cool. And he can activate it for free, which is cool, but I'm not too mad on him. Like, I'm finding it a little tricky to fit in Armans. I think it's even harder to fit in Karen. He doesn't have a speed aura. I don't know. I'm not a massive... He's not bad. He's usable, but he's not, I think, probably worth going for. Necmo is lovely for the increased speed, turn meter boost, decreased speed leech, and then the decreased attack AoE as well. And he's taking loads of turns. He's got the speed aura. He's a great buffer, debuffer for basically all the PvE content in the game. He's really nifty. He's decent for Chimera, great for Hydra, great for Grim Forest, great for lots of stuff. He's useful. He's definitely nice to have. Pythion obviously is a lovely accessible reviver and healer for the accessible. He's a really good, he was a fusion back in the day. He's obviously not accessible too much these days, apart from like this event, I guess, but look, he's doing lots of healing. He heals you more for the more debuffs he removes. Debuff removal, block debuffs is such a lovely skill. AoE revive with strengthen is great. Healing on the A1. He's your stereotypical tanky reviver. He's very tanky. He's not fast. He's not helping you do any damage or anything. He's just keeping you alive, healing, removing debuffs, reviving. Yeah, block debuffs, the typical stuff. Damage reduction passive. He's solid. He's great. And finally, we've got... How would I order these is tough. Yeah. Man, You know, I'm going to give... I feel like they're all kind of equal. Kosk, you know what? I'm going to give... Where do I go at this? I'm going to say maybe Pythion 1, Kosk 2, Necmo 3, but it's hard to say. It is hard to say. I think it depends on what you're missing from Lizards as to which would be most valuable to you. They're all very close. You know, I don't even want to rank them like this. I think you could go for any... Let's just give them all joint second. They're all joint second. My mouse is slightly dying. That might be part of why stuff was bugging out earlier. Yeah, I've got a fancy mouse. I've got a freaking... You guys are like a Logitech Master. It's like 100 quid or something. The left click's gone a bit wonky pretty early on. I'm going to have to try clean it out or something, but it's really annoying. Yeah, so that's probably how I'd rank them. And we do have epics in there as well, guys. Allure, Magnar, Vildrax, Galapo, Venomage, Aox. Okay, easy enough. Vildrax is absolute trash. Don't go for Vildrax. Don't go for... Oh, look at this. This mouse is dreadful. It's really bad today. This is actually the worst it's been. Allure is great for turn meter. Magnar is a great general damage dealer. I would go for... I'd be going for Allure first. Let's go for... Let's go for an epic color. Let's go for this. I put Allure first, Magnar second. Then on the second day... yeah, sorry, these regular epics, Galapo, Venomage, Aox. I would put Aox third, but he is a nice champion. He is good. And then, gosh, it gets a bit tough. It'd be Galapo second. Jesus, this mouse. Oh my god, it's so... Oh my lord, it's so bad. It won't even click. Venomage. Ah, the technical difficulties today. So, yeah, look, Aox, he's a nice champ. He increasing debuffs on the attacker, that's quite unique. And you could actually run him for like some solo... In Cursed City, he can solo the Scarab boss. He puts out poisons with his A1, give him like a regen set, And he puts out poisons with it. He's just spamming A1s on the boss, and the boss is just beating on him, increasing the duration of the poisons, and he can solo that Curse City boss, which is pretty cool. And he's a good general support. Galapo is actually a really nice reviver. It's only single target, but he brings them with 2 turns of unkillable. Really good for keeping your squishy champion alive after you revive them. Pretty nice. Then he brings you a heal and a turn meter boost. The small version of increase resist. His A1 is healing himself, AoE attack. He gets healed when an ally dies. I think he's a solid reviver. Good for faction wars. And yeah, I mean, if you don't have Pytheon, he's a really strong option. So yeah, I think Venomage is better overall though. AoE poisons and heal reduction is really nice. Good for Nether Spider. AoE poisons are great in general. Decrease attack and defense. Activates poisons potentially in the A1, makes them do less damage. Very nice. Again, the heal reduction is useful for faction wars hard. And Nether Spider, even good for Amius, good for some Grim Forest bosses as well. Really useful. AoE poisons is great in general. I like Venomage a lot. So I'll be putting her number 1. Galapo 2, Teox 3. Oh god. Why is it doing this? My god, everything is, man, I'm gonna restart. Maybe it's my PC. I don't know what's going on today. Absolute shenanigans. Right, let's go through this a little bit quicker because this video is long enough already. Krutraxa, Enithwe, and Chalco. And then Fighty, Sulfurion, and Krisk. We'll deal with the 2 of these together. Krutraxa just got buffed. She's very nice right now. So she is worth considering for sure. When she revives on death, she self-buffs and she attacks somebody. If she kills somebody, she gets revive on death back. Her A1 is very powerful. Her A2 is a block revive. She's great post. Have they reset her? I think they might have reset her skills. I don't know. But she's a really good arena champion. She's great for Fire Knight with the 4-hitter. This is an extra turn move, so it's technically like a 5-hitter whenever this is off cooldown. And it's off cooldown often because it's a 3-turn extra turn move. Pretty sick. So she is a really nice generalist champion. Very, very strong. Highly recommend Krutraxa. I want to do a tick. There we go. Enithwe is a no. Don't go for him. Chalco is good, but maybe Krutraxa is a bit better these days. Enithwe, he just needs a buff. He's just out of touch. He's bad. Don't even bother. Chalco is awesome. One of the few block passive skill champs in the game. And then he can debuff spread. Really cool. He's got some strong potential for any PvE content. He's very nice for Hydra and that sort of thing. He's got a decreased speed A3. He's good. I've seen him use a bit in PvP. He's very squishy. It's hard to keep him alive, but he can work. And he's immune to crowd control, and he counterattacks with this block passive decreased defense debuff spread. Pretty interesting. So I do think he's a strong option. I've got Chalco and Krutraxa. Do I use them? No. Why not? Even if they are really good, I don't have a good blessing on them. I don't have good souls. So they're missing so many stats they're not worth using, which is always something to consider with damage dealers. I generally prefer supports at the moment as well, because supports get power crept more slowly than damage. Fighty, Sulfurion, Krisk, here are the supports. Now, unfortunately, power creep did happen here, in the sense Sulfurion was amazing for PvP. AoE burn and activate it. Insane. Blow up all their stone skin. Give your team a big turn meter boost with his passive. Really, really good. Problem. Really bad against Mercurial gear. So it's very awkward to use him now in PvP. If they've got stone skin, insane. But if they're in total guard, it just can't burn them. Can't do anything. Really weak. And you don't know what gear set they've got, so what do? He's got an AoE revive with an extra turn. This move is phenomenal for spider bosses. They nerfed burn for event dungeons, so I'd be wary of it going forwards. How strong will burn be as a strategy for stuff? I don't know. I do think whenever they bring out, more levels of spider hard, which I'm sure they'll do at some point, he would be one to watch there for sure. But yeah, so he's in a little bit of an awkward spot there. But he's still a really solid champion, but he has fallen off a bit. Fighty is a great generalist. Increased resist, perfect veil, cooldown reduction. I mean, we just got a really good perfect veil, increased resist champ with Mavara. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, would you be relying on Fighty? I mean, he's got the cooldown reduction, which is really good. He has the AoE buff removal with block buffs, decreased speed, and turn meter boost for your team. Really interesting. He's a fantastic generalist. Really, really good Void legendary. He's not the best of the best, but he's just a very solid one. People like Fighty hell of a lot. But I feel like it's a little awkward to pick him when we just got Mavara, and you could probably be building the teams with her instead. And then Krisk is another great generalist. The Provoke, the AoE decrease speed, buff extension with ally protection. He's very comfy for any PvE content for protect, and he's placing decreased defense, decreased attack when hit. Great for keeping your team alive. Extending buffs is very useful. The AoE decrease speed is a little inconsistent. I use Krisk a decent chunk. He's very nice. So I could recommend any of them. I probably put Fighty first, and then I give probably joint second to both of these, sort of depending on where you're at. I would have rated Sulfurion. Oh my god, Sulfurion, this mouse, Jesus. What? Now it's drawing lines. I don't know. Strange. I don't know. It's weird. So yeah, I would have put Sulfurion clear first a few months ago. With Mercurial now, he's lost a lot of PvP value, so I'd be looking at Fighty first more. I would go for, I don't know, probably Krutraxa might be the most useful. Fighty's a safe generalist pick. There are several decent options there. Skimfos versus Padma. I go for Skimfos. Padma's just pretty bad. She needs a buff, really. Slixus and Scathix. You know, if you had to pick between them, probably Scathix is more useful. Slixus is okay as a void damage dealer. He's okay. I think like epic damage dealers are in an awkward spot where do you really need them? If you're lacking a good damage dealer, Slixus is good. He's fine because he's void. He is squishy, but he is a decent damage dealer. He's void affinity, no weak hits. He's okay early mid game, decent in faction content because they don't have that many good accessible damage dealers, right? So he's worth considering there. So I'd say he is fine. Scathix as a support is a bit more broadly useful because he's got the debuff removal, block debuffs, and a shield. It's on a little bit of a longer cooldown, but it's not bad. AoE buff steal, A1 decrease speed. He gets block damage. He's okay. He's a decent epic, right? Because this is a relatively unusual move. Debuff removal, block debuffs is really good. Obviously, if you've got Pythion, you'd never use Scathix. Pythion is way better, but Scathix is a good, accessible way to get debuff removal, block debuffs into a faction, which otherwise, if you don't have Pythion, it's going to be a little bit difficult. And it's a nice synergy with Donnie, who can heal you up and sort of keep you going, and he'll protect you from debuffs. So I think either one are fine, but not too special. So yeah, overall, that's my thoughts. Ignore those big scribbles. The technical difficulties. I'd be saying, for me, I'd be going like Vulkanos, I think is the big one to watch, but Teox is quite viable as well. And then I'd say like Duchess and Preva are probably the go-tos here. Over here, Pythion, Kosk, Necmo, all reasonable picks. From the Voids, I'd be saying Fighty is who I'd be leaning towards the most, but I think Krutraxa and Shalco are both attractive. Probably Krutraxa, I give the slight edge to. For your epics, Allure, useful to have, unique. Magnar, great general HP damage dealer, and Venomage would be my go-to, but Galapo useful as well. From the Voids here, Slixus or Scathix, both useful, and I'd be skipping on Padma. Skimfos is okay, but not too special. I think because you get Carnage eventually in that faction, it's not too important to have Skimfos, to be honest, for any faction wars stuff, whereas Scathix or Slixus might be a bit more useful for faction limited content. So there you go. Let me know what you think about this. I'll see you for the CvC stream. Hopefully my mouse will be fixed by then. I've got a backup mouse if needs be anyway. But yeah, there you go. Wow, technical difficulties today. What the heck? Bruh. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.